Hi, this is Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today I wanted to take you for a walk around a Sure-Trac heavy-duty low-pro dump trailer. This one's got the optional 4-foot side kit with the optional bulkhead at the top. So let's take a walk around the trailer. We'll show you some of the features. This is a 7x12, 12,000 pound GVW. We also stock this in the 14-foot, 14,000 pound. This here would be the dual ram, which is a standard hoist. You can option to the scissor or the telescopic lift. So up front, we've got a standard 6-hole adjustable coupler. Notice it's a cast coupler. They do a nice job reinforcing the coupler. You also notice Sure-Trac does a pretty solid job with their welds, more so than some of the other brands that we've carried. So again, pretty clean job with their welds, and just overall, there's a lot of attention to detail on this trailer. We'll show you some of that here in a bit. So it's got a 7-pin sealed whip, which is pretty standard for most trucks nowadays. It's got a double contactor, basically, so it's got a better chance of not having an electrical problem. Notice it is grommeted and ran in frame. It's got a 7K jack standard. Notice the jack is a bolt-on for ease of replacement. If you've never used the jack before, it's got an inner leg, which is adjustable, saves you from carrying around a block or piece of wood or whatnot. And then it's got the outer sleeve, which is adjustable via the top line handle. So it does have a 110 volt charger. It's got an external plug. You can simply plug 110 house current into it to help keep your battery maintained. It's got a KTI pump, power up, power down. Notice it's power up, power down because it's got 2 coils. You've got a Deca deep cycle marine battery. It's a 140 amp hour, which would make it a high capacity. Some also put in a lower capacity 100 amp hour, but this is a high capacity. Notice these 2 lines here. One's gonna be to the 110 volt charger. Now I like the 110 volt charger these guys put in. It's a little better than some of the ones that I've seen in the industry and some of the ones that have been more prevalent in the past. This one here, we've had pretty good luck with. But again, one of these lines, and it would be this one here, the green one, and this white one, would run through the 7-pin whip off the accessory line of the 7-pin. So those are gonna charge off the truck. A lot of people believe that that's a direct charge, and unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, but you're not running this dump directly off this 12 to 14 gauge wire. For that, you would need more of an accessory line, like a 2-gauge winch line. What this will give you right here is about a 3.7 amp hour charge, which if you do the math, 140 divided by 3.7, you'd have to do about 30 hours or more of driving to fully charge the battery. So again, it does have the accessory line charge in, but that's a fairly minor amount of charging. So the frame on this is a 6-inch tube tongue. Sure-Trac uses a lot of tubes. Same thing on the main frame and bed frame. They use all box tube. The reason for that, tube gives a lot of strength, a lot of torsional rigidity relative to the empty weight of the trailer. Okay, on Sure-Trac's standard 2-foot high-sided trailer, a bulkhead is standard. On the 4-foot high side, it is an option. We go ahead and put that bulkhead on there. That way, if you want to go another foot on the side, you can. Also gives you an integrated tarp mount, so you've got a spot to mount a tarp kit. Also, if you've got lighter weight debris, which is what most people would have on something like this, be it mulch or different compost or whatnot, that front bulkhead will help keep from knocking some of the material out. So one of the requests that we had to Sure-Trac was to put an extra side step, so if you are using a tarp kit, it's easy to get to there. Then you've also got one farther back in the standard placement. Sure-Trac on all their trailers is going to have a spare tire mount standard. Again, speaking of some of those little details I talked about earlier, again, a pretty nice clean bead of weld there. But what I was trying to show you, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different spots. Then they also weld the inside as well. So again, these guys are a little more detail oriented than some. Speaking of details, this integrated body stiffener going down the side, not only is it there where on many trailers it's not, but the few that do this, many of those welded onto the outside instead of taking the extra time to fab it into the sidewall. This design here will stay clean and nice for years to come. Some of the other ones I've seen that weld them on the outside, you get rust streaking down where you've got a flat wall and then this scabbed on the outside, oftentimes in only a year or 2 or 3. You've got tarp hooks going down the sides. Again, if you get a tarp kit, you got a spot to tie to. Sure-Trac does a nice job too with siliconing the joints between the bed and the bed frame, and between the fender and the sidewall. Notice they also do a double broke fender. Double broke fender would be stronger than a single broke fender. Extra brake gives you some extra strength there. 10-ply radial tire, load range E, 235/80 R16 is standard equipment. This comes through on a white wagon wheel. We also have silver mod wheels if you prefer those. This does have the newer Easy Lube hubs. Simply pull the black cap off. Behind the black cap, there's a grease zert. You can service your own bearings. It's got a slipper spring suspension. One nice thing Sure-Trac does, they put a wet bolt kit, they call it, or basically a grease zert on the suspension. So not only is the slipper spring more durable than a eye-to-eye suspension, but the grease zert also gives you some added serviceability. Sure-Trac, where the wiring comes out of frame, they also do a nice job siliconing the wiring. They also do a fender prop to the outer side of the fender. So their main frame hinge, couple details here. Put a bushing in with a grease zert. They cap the end of the tube frame so you can never crush it. Then also on the back side of the spring hanger, notice they put a reinforcement on there, not generally seen on most trailers. Then also the plate where the hinge is thicker than most, and then they do double pass weld on that critical spot. The rear door is still a combo door. It's a barn door, but then it's also a spreader door, so you can hinge it from the top. Undermount ramps are standard. Notice they do a cam bar lock on the rear door. This door goes all the way around, so you would take the chain, basically hook it around the side. It's a very simple design, works very well. Keeps your door away from a 90-degree angle. So what some trailers will do, they'll come to a 90, and then whenever you put the door up, oftentimes it's the far side door, because most guys are going to get out the driver's side. They're going to back into their pile, they're going to pick it up and tweak that door. So having the door come all the way open to the fender sounds like a little detail, but it's actually quite important. So let's show you the underside of the trailer. Standard lockable paddle lock on the toolbox, keys in the back side of the latch. Underneath here we've got a underbody tool tray. It's got a dual ram. These are 3x30 cylinders, which is pretty standard in the industry. One thing, these have a little bit larger ram. These are a 2-inch ram. Some of the ones we see in the industry are 1 3/4. This is going to get about a 45-degree angle. Most in the industry are going to use a 3-inch cross member. One thing Sure-Trac does, this is a 4-inch tube bed frame. Notice that cross member fills the bed frame. So this is actually a 4-inch cross member. Then also another detail I want to show you. Notice on the end of the ramp, that's plated with 1/2-inch steel. We used to carry a manufacturer years ago that used 1/4-inch on the end of the ramp. And while they built a decent trailer, this was one of the failure points that we saw on them. So this retainer would keep the ramp from pulling away, but their 1/4-inch plated ramp, not a 1/2-inch plated ramp, did fail over time. Wanted to bring that to your attention. That's another little detail Sure-Trac puts on these trailers that just help reduce the bottlenecks, really. There's nothing overbuilt about this trailer, since they've reduced all the bottlenecks on it. So again, folks, it's about a 45-degree angle you're going to get on that dump. The standard 2-foot high-sided trailer weighs in about 33. A unit like this should weigh in about 3,700 pounds. Off 12,000 pound GVW, you're gonna have about 8,300 pounds plus tongue weight. Tongue weight's what would be on the trailer side. It's gonna average about 15%, or 15% or about 1,800 pounds. You're gonna come up with about 10,000 pounds of total legal payload. Trailer is powder coated. Sure-Trac does a great job with their finish quality on this. It's actually one of the strong points of their trailers. All the steel is stored inside. It's actually unloaded inside. These guys blast the finished product with steel grit, not sand grit. They phosphate wash, and then they also do a zinc chromate type sealer on it, which is very important. These guys do a very good profile. It's all into prep. These guys do a tremendous prep job, and then their top coat's powder coat. Take one final look underneath. I want to show you, these guys do a sealed wire harness on their brake connections. There you see a sealed harness, and then where it comes out of frame, that's all grommeted as it's ran out of frame. Everything on this trailer is grommeted out. Notice again, it's all grommeted where it comes out of frame. If you have any questions on this trailer or any of the other trailers that we stock, give us a ring, 717-220-4220, or visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com.